I still remember the way she said it, calm, detached, as if confessing something ordinary. We were sitting in the living room that Sunday afternoon, sunlight cutting through the curtains in long golden stripes. "Evan," she said, "I just don't get horny anymore." Just like that. No warning, no emotion. I blinked at her, thinking she was joking, but Clara's eyes didn't hold a trace of humor. She looked exhausted, maybe bored, maybe something deeper, something that scared me more than anger could. We'd been married for 5 years, together for nearly 7. Sure, life had gotten busy. Work stress, bills, endless routines. But we still laughed sometimes. We still kissed goodnight. I thought that meant we were fine. So when she said those words, I felt something inside me crack, quietly, like a bone snapping under too much pressure. I didn't argue. I didn't beg. I just nodded, pretending to understand. That night, I lay awake beside her, staring at the ceiling. Every shift of her body made me tense. When she turned away, I felt invisible. I told myself maybe it was medical, maybe hormonal, maybe stress. I searched for logic because the truth, her lack of desire for me, was too heavy to hold. Weeks passed. She became distant, spending hours scrolling on her phone, sometimes whispering and smiling at messages I never saw. I wanted to ask, but fear silenced me. Then came her cousin, Lena. She'd recently moved to the city for college, and Clara offered to let her stay with us for a few weeks. I didn't mind. Lena was bright, talkative, and carried a sense of mischief that filled the empty spaces in our quiet house. She'd tease me about my terrible cooking or how I overwatered the plants. Clara barely reacted to any of it. One evening, Clara had a work dinner and asked me to drop Lena off at her friend's place downtown. The drive was long, and somewhere between the music and streetlights, Lena asked softly, "Are you okay?" I hesitated. She said she'd noticed the tension between me and Clara. I tried to laugh it off, but she just watched me with those sharp, knowing eyes. "You don't deserve to feel unwanted," she whispered. The words hit harder than they should have. Maybe because it had been months since anyone said something kind to me. Maybe because I was desperate for warmth. I changed the subject quickly. She didn't push. But that night after we returned home, Clara barely acknowledged us. She went straight to bed, leaving her half-eaten dinner on the table. Lena lingered a moment longer in the kitchen. She helped me clean up, and as we both reached for the same plate, our fingers brushed. The air thickened. Neither of us moved. For a second too long, our eyes locked, and something dangerous sparked. I stepped back first. "This is wrong," I said quietly. She nodded, biting her lip. "I know. But she's not treating you right." I didn't sleep that night. Guilt gnawed at me, but so did confusion. Why did it feel like someone finally saw me again? The next morning, Clara was gone early. A note on the counter. Meeting with clients. Dinner out. Lena was in the backyard sipping coffee, sunlight dancing across her hair. She smiled when she saw me, and before I could look away, she said it, softly, like a secret meant to be shared between sinners. "I get horny a lot, Evan." Maybe too much. The words froze me. I wanted to walk away, to laugh it off, to be the man I believed I still was. But my heart was already racing, and a part of me, the part starved of affection, leaned toward the danger instead of running from it. For a few seconds after she said it, silence filled the backyard. The distant sound of traffic, a dog barking somewhere down the street. Everything felt distant, unreal. I didn't answer her. I just stared at my coffee, heart pounding like it wanted to escape my chest. Lena looked away first. "Forget I said that," she murmured. "It's none of my business," but the damage was done. A line had been crossed, even if nothing happened. That evening, Clara came home late again. She barely looked at me, just tossed her purse on the couch and started scrolling through her phone. I asked about her day. She muttered something about being tired. The same word she used for everything now, tired. I wanted to scream that I was tired too. Tired of feeling invisible. Tired of being loyal to a ghost. But I stayed quiet. I always did. Over the next few days, things shifted. Lena avoided me, polite but distant. Clara kept vanishing behind closed doors or vague client meetings. I began to notice patterns, late-night calls, the way she smiled at her screen, the way she suddenly guarded her phone like a secret. One night, she left her laptop open on the counter while she went to shower. The screen flickered, a notification popped up, an email from a name I didn't recognize. Curiosity, or maybe self-defense, made me click. The first line shattered me. "Last night was perfect. I can still smell your perfume on my shirt. My stomach turned to ice. The message thread went back weeks. Plans, hotel bookings, photos blurred by half-deleted attempts. So this was it. The truth I'd been pretending not to see. When Clara came back into the kitchen, humming to herself, I was still staring at the screen. She froze. The color drained from her face. "Evan," she said, voice trembling, "it's not what you think." I didn't yell. I just closed the laptop, slid it toward her, and said quietly, "Then tell me what it is." She couldn't. That night I slept on the couch. Around midnight I heard footsteps, soft, hesitant. I thought it was Clara, maybe ready to talk. But it was Lena standing in the dim light, tears streaking her face. "She's been doing this for months," Lena whispered. "I wanted to tell you, but I didn't know how." Her voice shook. "She brags about how easy it is to fool you. She thinks you'd never have the courage to leave." I sat up slowly, every word sinking like a stone. Lena took a breath, then pulled a small flash drive from her pocket. "You deserve to see the truth," she said. The next day, while Clara was at work, I watched what was on that drive. Screenshots, videos, messages. It wasn't just one affair. It was a pattern, a game she played. Shock gave way to calm clarity. For the first time in months, I felt my heart beat slow, steady, sure. That evening, Clara returned home to find her bags already packed by the door. Her eyes widened. "What is this?" I looked at her, really looked at her, and felt nothing. "I believed you when you said you couldn't feel anything," I said softly. "Turns out you just couldn't feel anything for me." She tried to argue, to twist the story, but I didn't stay to listen. By the time she realized I'd moved the joint bank funds and canceled the lease, it was too late. I walked out with one suitcase, leaving the keys on the table. Lena was waiting outside, her car running. She didn't say a word as we drove away, just reached over and placed her hand over mine. Not romantic, not suggestive, just human. For the first time in a long time, someone saw me as more than a shadow in my own marriage. Weeks later, the papers were filed. I didn't look back. Sometimes betrayal doesn't destroy you. It shows you who you've been protecting too long. And when I think back to that moment in the backyard, when she said she gets a lot, I finally understand what she meant. It wasn't a confession, it was a warning, because some people crave attention more than love, and I'd spent years trying to feed a hunger that was never mine to fill.